singing, sausages, shoveling, and shuffling, all tonight on the Love at First Flight After Show.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Yeah. Hey,
we're totally rolling with the homies like in Clueless.
We are rolling with the homies, and we are back for episodes 2's after show for the Love at First Flight after show here at AfterBuzz TV, rolling with the punches, which is why we are rolling with the punches and rolling with our homies. I am Lauren Leonelli, and with me we have...
I am Jenifer Golden. Hi, everyone.
Hi, guys. Welcome back. I'm Stacey Olivas.
Yes, and we are going to break down this week's episode of Love at First Flight, and we are going to give you our vote on the cutest couple and a disaster date and all the other things and advice and comments and things that we have to say about the show because holy crap, it got good. Guys, some things happened.
Finally.
You guys, right?
Into it.
I can't even, like, Stephanie and Ryan is definitely who we have to start with.
Yes. Boy.
You guys. So everyone is getting a challenge on this show, okay? So, and they all, I wonder if every time they give them a challenge on the show that the end-all, be-all prize is this, like, nice hotel to stay in. Is that what it's always going to be every time?
I don't know. It has been so far, so it seems that's the pattern. But now we're going to start seeing also whether they stay together in these nice places or separate in these terrible places,
Yes.
or just their dynamic of their sleeping process, I think.
Yeah.
Because we already did start seeing that in, you know, the episode. So
We sure did.
some people bunk.
I hope they switch it up, though, because then it would be more fun.
Well, it does seem like they are switching up the dates to some of them, like Stephanie and Ryan, who we're speaking of now, but they initially got well, they kind of got a good one this time too, but their first date was kind of cool and then other ones didn't have great ones. So I feel like
No, this one, I think if we're going to dive right into them.
Yeah.
I think they got the best one again.
Yeah.
Because theirs was not manual labor. Theirs was just like all fun and games. And so they actually all traveled to Nashville for this round
so
of
they
dates.
were in New York, they finished up all their things, and now they're in Nashville.
Yeah, and so everyone got a Nashvilleian type of date and challenge. And I thought what was cool about this episode was they got like a challenge one day, and then the next day they got a second challenge.
Yes.
So... or maybe the first one was like not so good and the second one was like a lighter, more romantic type of date where there was like wine involved versus a chore.
Yeah, they varied. Yeah. So, okay, so Stephanie and Ryan, their first initial, they get to Nashville, they were both really excited to go, and they needed to impress the locals with line dancing. They went vintage clothes shopping, and you could tell, I just feel like right away, I don't know, it seemed as though they were just really excited to be together and going on this trip together. Did you guys think that?
I felt like
Jen?
they were already a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Stacey,
they've been
did
already married, like a married couple. I feel
Well,
like they already,
yeah.
they were acting like that.
Totally.
Yeah.
I agree.
And they've known each other for how long? Like a couple days?
I think we're at 3 days. It
3
said like
days.
day 3 because they met in New York.
Yeah.
Then they woke up the next day in New York and like resolved any kind of like unresolved issues that day, all of the couples. And then they were given another day to then go travel.
Yeah, so it's like day 3. I mean, unless there's days in between or whatever, like it's basically under a week at this point.
Yeah, no, on the TV it said like day 3 and I remember thinking to myself, wow, okay.
And it's a 30-day journey or a
Yeah,
30-day journey,
And
right?
so going back to Ryan and Stephanie, they already were holding hands in this rental car and they're like psyched because they're just like off to no man's land because they don't actually know where they're going until they get a text.
Right.
They're just told to drive to the airport and that's that.
Yes, and the show is driven by the texting on the phone. It's like giving them instructions and things. Then we have been talking about on our show, It's Complicated. Jen and I have a podcast about dating and relationships. So we talk about it all the time. We were talking about being married to social media. Like, how do you, I mean, in these moments, they need their phones on them, but I haven't seen any of them like attached to their phones. So they seem like they're in these challenges together, whether or not they're making them nervous or not, and which we'll get to soon. But both Ryan and Stephanie seemed like they were into this challenge. They're into each other. They're not on their phones.
Going back to the phone thing, I was thinking during this episode, and I don't know if you were thinking the same thing, Stacey or Lauren, but did they give them phones? Because how do they turn off the rest of the functionality? Because you hear them get that text, and obviously their phone's on loud. You don't hear them get text the rest of the episode. So unless they get that one text they know around when it's going to happen,
Do you
then they
think-
turn it off. You then see them also, all of the couples take photos on their phone of each other.
Yes.
So
True.
they have a phone. It's always on.
I think they have to share it. They probably have one phone
one
that
phone.
they send out with each of the couples, and they have to like share the phone, or
That's good,
they're using
yeah.
it as navigation tool
Right.
to get
I
where
think-
they need to go and take pictures for the show.
It's probably a phone that was given to them, or
Yeah.
they turned off all of the apps or something, because otherwise they would be on their phone the entire time.
I agree, because we're trying to figure out how, like, realistically this would work, and I think in order to do that, they would have to be shutting that off somehow. So they go. So Stephanie and Ryan go. They try on their clothes, and they like walk out of the store with the tags on. But whatever, it's TV.
I was wondering what that was about. I'm like, did somebody just say it's cool? Take whatever you want and go in this store.
And then they go to. There was also a piece of the story missing for them too. Now, granted, I know we've got like a handful of couples here to cover, but like they get to this country line dancing place, and then they just all of a sudden are in this synchronized dance. I was like, what?
Who taught them? When did this happen?
Exactly. That's what I was wondering.
Were
The
you-
same exact thing. Who taught this couple how to
Yeah.
dance?
Well, Stacey, do you think that they impressed the locals with their dance moves?
I think they did, but did they know how to line dance already?
I know.
Like
That's what
He was better than her, in my opinion.
Honestly, I was watching and I was like, how were they doing this? Did nobody else wonder how they were doing this? Guys at home, like, I think when you're letting somebody into somebody's life and you're showing these personal things and you're talking, we're talking to each other, we're asking each other personal questions, you're interviewing somebody, you're the voice of the audience. Like, nobody in the editing process was like, maybe the audience is going to be confused as to how they learned that they're synchronized. It's like a musical all of a sudden. I mean, I guess it's not that big of a deal. It's just we all wondered it.
I think maybe they realized after the fact, maybe, I'm going to speak for the producers who are not here, but from deductive reasoning, that they gave them a really easy challenge, or maybe they ran out of time on their scheduling and their shoot days and stuff, because we obviously missed a lot of the storyline, but we saw a lot of their home life. We saw a lot of him being annoying with that stupid ass accent. Sorry, everyone.
Yes.
It is stupid. So
Annoying.
Yes.
but you see her tolerate it, and not everyone when you date people, they're never going to be perfect.
Yeah.
So they're going to have annoying like qualities. Like you've said, Lauren, in the past. I mean, she's in a relationship, so you've said, oh, like my boyfriend was annoying me, so do you want to go shopping today? Like, you just want to sometimes get away from the person because they're a human being and they have a personality.
Yep.
Just like you will annoy him and I will annoy my person. Stacey, you're going to annoy your person because we're humans. But so you see her sort of tolerate his annoyingness because she actually snaps back and she's like, that can't come with us to the next location. That accent
needs to
it's
leave.
gotta
But
stay.
wait, Stacey, do you think that they are grooming these couples?
that's exactly what I was going to say.
Okay, elaborate,
I
please.
think they're setting this couple up for success as opposed to the other ones. They're setting them up for like failure
With the challenges
Yes.
or with what they're showing?
Yes.
Totally.
And
Yeah, but is success what we think success is? Because
Well,
if you
maybe
give them an
it's-
easy road,
Yes.
and they don't have actual challenges, are they going to then be able to deal with the real world after the fact?
Or how much control do they have over what's happening? We don't know. But are they trying to give them an easier road, or are they trying to make it appear that it's easier for them? Because then Jenna and Kale are going to be the ones that get married, which clearly is not ever going to happen. Or I will have to take all the shots of tequila, like we bet last time. That is definitely not. But you know what
It's
I'm
happening.
saying?
It's going to happen. I think you're going to drink all the tequila. But I actually feel as though maybe there is some crazy plan that is, they have arcs like mapped out.
Yes.
Where it's like, okay, Stephanie and Ryan will start with the easy path, and then we're going to start throwing them curveballs and see how they deal with it, because they're obviously the couple that had the most romantic dates.
Yes.
They were the most matched on paper. They were most compatible, but will they be able to handle these things?
Yeah.
Will it strengthen them? Will it tear them apart? We don't know. Maybe then with like a Stephanie and Michael, when we get to them later, they've had a little bit of a go of it as far as what their challenges have been. So did that actually strengthen them because they had to do the like crappy things first and got that stuff out of the way? They really got to know each other.
There's a lot of variables, guys, and we are not only going to talk about this show at the AfterBuzz after show for Love at First Flight, but we're going to talk about like, we're all not new to reality TV. We all know that we watch The Bachelor and we all know it's produced. We all know that that's happening. Let's just be real. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. It's still interesting to watch, but yes, like these outside factors in the show and in real life affect the outcome. So whether or not this is like a real thing with the show and the production, or whether or not not you enter into a relationship in your real life, and there's outside things that it all comes into play. So we're going to talk about every aspect of this show.
And I don't really know if a relationship that goes that fast really works out.
I agree.
They might go in all the way and then fall really hard.
It might fizzle. It's what we call like a fast burn. Burns out, you guys. And so really quick, we're going to get to the end of them because they go line dancing. They win because they're the challenge because they're like, I don't know how they're like a choreographed NSYNC up there. And
they obviously impressed the locals, which I'm sorry, do the locals care?
Yeah, no, they don't. And then Stacey, your favorite part where Stephanie went in and what do you think about that?
She was aggressive. She
totally
was
aggressive.
Totally she like pulled his head in and just started making out with him, and I thought, but I think actually he might like it.
Oh, he for a million% likes it.
That probably also wasn't the first time they've kissed. That was just that moment that they happened to kiss.
Or though it also looked like it could have been the first time, but then they kissed, and then it showed them in the next day in the hotel room. They clearly had sex. I mean, hello, they're like ordering room service in the bed together, and
everyone else stayed apart. But we'll get to them later.
And she's on her phone, and then she starts doing his hair and telling him she likes it to look a certain way. And
they got comfortable real quick,
really fast, you guys. And so we, I mean, he says he can see a marriage in the future with her. Whoa, kind of scaring me, but okay.
And you know what? I wonder if they say that though because they are obviously on a show that is to find love and marriage.
Yeah, it's like being on The Bachelor,
right? Like your frame of reference and your entire every moment of your day is for this one goal.
Yeah,
it's not like they're like seeing if they should start a new career in line dancing, and that's what they're going to talk about.
Well, maybe
their whole point in doing anything on the show is to find love. So I think, you know, obviously their mindset is, okay, so I just did this task with this person. I am thinking, okay, yes or no, could
it's
marry
at the
this
forefront
person.
of their mind. That's the goal.
Exactly.
So that makes sense.
And he said he liked it, the fact that she fixed his hair and did all that, and he trusts her judgment.
He likes it now, you guys.
Yeah.
He also said he wants a mama bear.
He did.
Yeah.
And she's pretty dominant. So.
I agree, Stacey. I think, though, let's all think about this before we move on to the next couple. Is he going to like that in a couple of weeks?
Who knows?
Or later in the future? Let's just see.
But maybe she'll keep writing him love notes and then it won't matter.
Oh, yeah, you guys. She wrote him a love note, too. Oh, my God, I can't. They're like they're 12 teen. I don't know.
That's a number, 12 teen. It was really cute, though. I thought it was impressive that she wanted to open up and she wanted to put her feelings in writing, even if it was day 3. She wanted to express. Here's the thing. You're either in it or you're not in it. You're open or you're not. And I think what we're seeing with this couple is
they're on the same page.
They're on the same page. They're especially open. They are into each other. So it is grooving a lot better than some of the other couples.
Agreed.
So it also does feel a little bit forced and weird and awkward because you're like, well, why is this couple getting along so well?
Yes, I agree. But, you know, again, I think that my quick advice, slow your roll to both of them.
Always.
You don't even know each other.
Yeah, right, you have 30 days to figure out if you want to marry them.
Great.
So take every minute.
Take every minute. Be excited about it. I'm not saying curb your excitement, but, like, just keep in mind the reality of the reality TV. All right.
Yeah. Well, guys, you know, if you want to hear from reality stars or any other influencers, we have another podcast for you. So when you're done listening to this or watching this, you guys should check out Conversations with Maria Menounos, the podcast edition.
Yes.
She is the AfterBuzz TV founder. She knows some things. She was recently married.
She
knows
the everyday girl
about love. She is the everyday girl. She is like the big sister that we all wish we had, which we kind of do because she like is our boss basically, but like boss babe.
She's like a guide. She's a great guide, you guys. If you're in the process, you're watching this show, the Love at First Flight after show, because you want to watch how other people date, or you're dating, you're in a relationship, like you want a guy, you're looking for someone to like emulate. Maria's been through all of it, and she is very open, and she is very relatable, and she will give you tips on, I don't know, if you want to eat healthy, you want to rescue an animal, you want to talk about going on vacation with your girlfriends, or hanging out with your mom and your dad and your live-in boyfriend, now husband, all of it.
Become an entrepreneur, become a superstar.
And have it all.
Have it all.
Have it all, guys. And you can have it all, too, if you just check out Conversations with Maria Menounos on iTunes and subscribe. And also, you should rate it with, obviously, 5 stars and leave a comment and say, that the lovely hosts of Love at First Flight sent you there.
That's right.
You are welcome. You
You're
will
welcome.
enjoy it, and it's going to be awesome. So check it out Fridays on iTunes.
And you know what else is awesome is Jenna and Kale, because they had to go work on a farm and do chores. They got a
brother.
crappy date, and I feel like if we're talking about grooming, this could go along with our idea that they are being groomed to hate each other or being put in like bad situations. Will this end up helping them create a stronger bond? I don't know. Are they tricking us? I don't know. The production might be tricking us. I don't know. But they seem like they hate each other. And I will say this, Jenna's hair is beautiful.
She has really pretty
Like,
hair.
it is insane.
Could it be a different color, possibly?
I know Jen doesn't love red hair, but like her hair, but even not the color, I think the color's pretty, but we're girls, so we're going to talk about it. It's just pretty. Like, it always looks good. It's style good. I'm like, dude. But then I will say that, like, this is another, you know, idea of like chemistry and being in front of someone in real time. Like, someone can look really pretty, but like if they have a bad attitude, it's like makes them less attractive. Like, she is a pretty girl, and I feel like she could be kind of funny, but then she like ruins it. And Kale seems super nice, but he's like not having it.
He picks up on her bad attitude, and I like that he's not impressed by her looks. He is there to find somebody, and he says it. And
Yeah.
I think his perspective is really nice to see as a man who is analyzing a woman with a bad attitude, because sometimes you think guys are just like mystified by pretty girls. Like we just again talked about it about social media. Like, you might see a pretty girl on social media and think, wow, that I want to date that person. You don't know her crappy personality.
And that could ruin things.
Or her stupid attitude. Like, you just don't know. She might not do anything for anybody else. And it feels as though Jenna does not do anything for anyone else. She actually does.
quits.
She quits, and she makes Kale complete the challenges, and she just doesn't care. She's like, well,
did it.
She knows he's going to do it. She's already done it twice. He
did
had to
it the
finish
first time?
pooping.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
not pooping. Cleaning up the poop.
Yeah, basically pooping. You guys, they had to shovel cow poop off of this ledge into the water, and the guy was like, don't open your mouth while it was splashing everywhere. And then they had to milk the cow for 1 pint. If they could get 1 pint in under like a minute or something, then they would get to stay in a fancy hotel or not. And Stacey, she gave up then too, right?
She gave up. She totally gave up, and she just relied on him to do it all.
And then she tried to talk the guy into, yeah, you're going to give it to us, right? It was short of a pint. They didn't make it. It was like, I don't know, looked like a couple ounces short. And he was like, no, I'm not giving it to you.
I like that he didn't, because if he did, then it's like, okay, we get it. Every time you're always going to win every challenge, and you're always going to stay in a nice place.
Do you think, Jen, that Jenna is used to maybe getting things because she looks a certain way, or because she's a pushy personality, getting what she wants even though she doesn't deserve it, and this is why she did that in this moment?
Yeah, she seems very entitled. I think there's some personality traits there that are like obviously consistent with her. Like, she's definitely
Cranky.
a cranky complainer with an attitude problem, doesn't want to actually put in work, which may be why she's single.
Yeah.
Because if you don't want to put in the work on yourself or for anybody else, you're not selfless.
Kale says she does not bring her A game, and that she shows up, but then she doesn't go all the way, and then
Right.
she retreats.
Yep.
So
Just gives up.
I wonder if she really is trying to find love, or if she wants to make it through the end to be on reality TV for X amount of time.
I kind of think that I wondered if that, and who cares if that's her end goal, then she's doing it. She's making a personality for herself. She's like Omarosa.
Yeah, and do you guys think it's at all strange that they went and they ended up in this tiny house, and yes, she complained the whole way through this tiny house because they obviously didn't complete the challenge, and so that was the result. That she's complaining the whole way through. It's a tiny bed. I can't do this. This bathroom.
This is a joke. Yeah.
Right. This can't be true. No, you get the downstairs. I get the upstairs. All of this stuff. But then all of a sudden the next day, every couple though wakes up the next day bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. It's like some producer crept into their room at night and said, you know what? This is why you should make it one more day.
Jen, do you think they hooked up or anything happened?
Hell no. I'm sorry. I'm answering for Jen. I did not mean to interrupt.
But I actually did think something happened the way she insinuated it, but then he clarified it. Because what she said, and I think maybe this is where you were going, Stacey, was that she's like, you know what? We actually needed this. We needed to be in like tight quarters. We needed to hash it out. We stayed up and we drank and we hung out. We talked and we like worked through
pizza. They showed that after the fact, though, so it was also made you wonder.
She said something that was very hinting at the fact that she said like, yeah, I mean, we like had a good time, or like something insinuating more happened, but then
And even for
he
her-
clarified it.
For Jenna to say have a good time, then your mind all goes to like, what was that?
And she seemed looser. Sorry, it seemed like maybe something like
Somebody
she took
maybe-
something out of the plug that is clogging her butthole from her.
Oh, I was thinking of another hole. I wasn't thinking about. Oh,
But
hey, but
I'm
that's
talking about her anxiety. It's stored
listen,
somewhere else.
If she likes playing the back, I just spit everywhere. Think about it. If she likes playing the back nine, good for her. I'm just saying something happened. We thought
Some stress
Yes,
relief.
yes, stress relief is exactly. But then you hear Kale say,
yeah.
now at least we're friends. Like,
Yes.
I don't think that what we thought might have
Yes.
been the case.
It was a little misleading, but I will say I did pick up on this, you guys, and I really liked that when they got in the house, she was complaining and he was laughing at her. He was just like, dude, you're not going to do this. And she said, you sleep on the couch, I get the bed. And he said, I milked the cow. Yes, Kale.
Yes.
Yes.
Mic drop.
Because you know what? No, screw that. Like, you do all the work. I didn't even at that point think it was about not being a gentleman or not.
No.
Like, right?
Yeah,
No.
she's just entitled, and she's
Totally.
just a big, huge brat.
Right. Like, she can't just drop out of every competition and then reap the benefits.
This is-
This is not how it works, especially in a relationship.
But do you guys think it's because maybe she's just not interested in him?
Yes, it's a
Because
million
if
percent
she
that.
was interested in him, wouldn't she act a lot?
We talked about this
we don't know,
last
though.
show.
We don't,
Yeah.
She might just be that way, and also might be why she's single. We don't
She-
know about
yes,
her history.
It does
Yeah.
seem like this is personality trait of hers, and these cranky things and being negative and stuff is something that she probably does. But yes, I do think that she is not into him, and then she's just like annoyed at the process of like, this is not cool. I don't want to be in close quarters with this person. If it were Stephanie and Ryan, they would have been like, we're gonna cuddle in this bed together.
But okay, so now here's the question, guys. Do you think that this is like a pure like example of you can get used to somebody?
Yes.
And somebody
Yes.
can grow on
Yes.
you?
A million percent. Oh, I feel like Jenna and Kale are going to be really good friends, and they're going to like kind of bond through this process of like trying to figure out how to make it work together, because you get from you do a 180 with someone and it like connects you somehow. I do not, again, not taking tequila shots. They are in no way, shape, or form ever going to have a love connection. I am sorry, but that is not possible.
I don't
And
know.
if they do, I don't believe that it's real. They're being paid.
Okay, well, we'll talk to the
Maybe.
producers about that.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
listen, there is something to be said for her recognizing that he does always come through for
Yes.
her, that
Yeah.
he is a gentleman.
Yeah.
He laughs at her jokes. He's nice to her. He is so...
He even tried to cook her eggs the next day, and she complained about it the whole time.
I
but
know.
Still.
Well, but then she actually cooked for him, and it was a whole thing, and they were taking pictures together, guys. There might be some things in the works.
There might be. What
We're
is
only
your
on day 3.
Okay, guys,
Or now 4.
Jen or Stacey or both, give quick advice before we move on to the next couple. What is your advice to them as of now?
I think, well, personally, I think that he's going to be like that friend that she like never had an interest in, and then he's going to grow on her, and then she's like, oh, wow, he's been in front of me the whole time.
Okay.
So
Same. I actually think, like, there's gonna be some...
So you think your advice is just for them to keep going?
keep
at that-
going
yeah.
and try it out. I mean, I'm still confused why they put them together.
Yeah.
Why the producers would pick them two together, but there's a reason.
Well, obviously for the drama, and maybe
Yeah.
they told her to tone it up, or who the hell
who
knows.
knows?
But I do think that for types of people like this to work out, I think that they have to be open-minded and also think of the bigger picture. What is it you're actually looking for? So you might not be attracted to this person right off the bat. However, he's tall. He's taller than her. Let's
Yeah.
start there. He's really
Smart.
nice.
Yeah.
He's smart. He's always got her back. He carries them through everything.
Yes.
He's
Something to
not
say, yeah.
mean.
Yeah.
He literally tolerates
Okay, but
her.
what does he have to look forward to? I mean, yes, I hear what you're saying. I mean, maybe she, makes him take life less seriously or something, but I feel like the good advice for them is to just sort of like keep trying to be as open-minded as and accepting, because both of them are different and both of them have to accept each other. And speaking of attraction that grows on somebody, let's move on to Alma and Mike, because that is a very obvious thing happening between them.
Oh,
Like,
their story is so uncomfortable to
so
me.
uncomfortable, and also a lot of her daddy issues are coming up, which is fine. Their challenge was very difficult. They had to record an original song about their relationship. That's a very vulnerable thing, to sit there and write a song and then sing it, and then go sing it and busk for money. Like, I was like, this is the hardest challenge ever.
Yeah, you have to first reveal how you feel about the person.
Which he was totally embarrassed by.
And she was she was just like ready to go.
Yep.
Let's talk
She was
about
like
it.
Jenny from the block. She was like J-Lo. She was about to record an album and make a perfume line and do all the things. She was like, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, the lyrics, by the way, were not bad when you actually hear the song. Their singing was not good, but the fact that they actually did the singing in front of each other. It's
in
hard
the
enough-
recording studio,
Yeah.
looking into each other's eyes, so uncomfortable.
So everything about this was very challenging and uncomfortable, unless you're a singer. And obviously, they didn't give this to Stephanie and Ryan, who Stephanie's a singer. So they gave it to Alma and Mike. They worked as a team in the first part of the whole challenge, but then when it came to the busking part, they were outside, and you see Alma, she is upbeat. She is trying. She is
outgoing,
working for their team. She is ready to get them the money to stay in the nice place. And he just like shuts down. He doesn't like talking to strangers, and he doesn't want to ask for things, and he doesn't want to sing in front of people. It's like, dude, you don't, these are strangers, and that girl is doing it.
Did you, Stacey, think that that what he was doing might have been a little bit shut downy, but that it was a little unfair for her to be so affected by it because it was bringing up like a past insecurity? Or did you think like it was
his personality? He's totally shy.
Yeah,
he's like an introvert, and I think she was too pushy in this. I totally saw it in a different way than Jen. I agree that he's a shy guy. He's nice. He seems a little sensitive, like. And it's embarrassing for. I mean, I'd die if I had to go and sing in front of a bunch of people on the street.
Totally,
and
this was a bold thing to ask somebody, and there might be some things about his personality that would make her feel good at sometimes. In this particular situation, it was an extreme situation, and his things that make him feel a little insecure or whatever, it brought it out in him. But in all fairness, it brought insecurities out in her too. She started talking about how her dad seemed like he was a certain type of guy and looked like a Prince Charming, and she describes Mike as a Prince Charming. And then she says, well, you know, he ended up not being this guy. So it brought out these insecurities. They ended up talking about it. He ended up saying to her, I feel like you're projecting insecurities onto me. She revealed a bit of a temper.
I hate you.
Drama. I think he needs to run. Because also,
So that's your advice?
Well, because when she said this, she said, I don't do drama in relationships. That was the first red flag. If you have to say that,
girls.
Listen, she very quickly got upset with what he was saying. He was very calm. That was
totally calm.
If we could all have a camera following us around, revealing our truths and how we actually behave in dynamics like this, that would be so helpful because we would know what we really did.
And also, just to point out what you just said, he was very calm. Well, guess what? This is when that personality, his calm, more introverted personality, is a positive, and she's like slamming the door and stomping out of the room
like a child. She literally threw a temper tantrum.
We need to pay attention to the fact that both of these things can be good and bad at times.
But he can ground her and mellow her out, which would be nice if she actually appreciated that and realized it came from a good place. Again, they're strangers. However, he did call her out about her past, and he said, this seems like you're projecting. And I was just appreciating the fact that he used that word projecting and said, like, obviously these people are evolved and know what they're looking for at this point in their relationship. They're adults, they can communicate feelings, and it's really nice to actually see this. So he said, you're projecting, and she says no, and that's when she gets upset and leaves.
Well,
however,
she was making a bid for attention in that conversation to please make me feel more secure that you're going to show up, and he was saying, I am going to show up, but you need to realize you're projecting this insecurity onto me.
And also what he did, I don't personally think, to be fair, is that I don't think he abandoned her.
No,
I think
he did not.
You can't tell somebody that has a fear of heights to go save your cat. Like, they're going to have a fear of heights first, and they're going to want to save your cat.
We're human.
Right. But I think it's unfair of her and it's very selfish of her to say, you have to stop being the person you are with all of your insecurities and fears, and you have to be here for me.
Well, they talked about it the next day.
And I think, Jen, like, bouncing off of that, I think that the thing that he said that really set her off was he said this, I'm sorry you feel that way. Like, he didn't take
That's like telling
ownership.
someone to calm down.
Right.
Exactly. So I think that
However,
set her
though,
off, and they
say
to another level.
when talking to crazy, you acknowledge their feeling, but you don't say it's right or wrong.
You just say, like, I hear what you're saying.
Because you are entitled to every feeling you want to have in the world. It doesn't mean I agree with it. It doesn't mean it's true or accurate that I did the thing that made you feel that way. You actually feel that way because you are built the way you're built.
At least telling someone I hear you, but this is how I feel, this is how you feel. Let's find a common ground. I do believe that that's what they did here. They ended up doing that. I think they're both very open. And I think that my advice to them is to keep communicating. I know even if hers comes out real fiery and his comes out more quiet, fine, whatever. That's what makes the world go round. I think they need to keep communicating.
They woke up the next day like nothing was wrong.
I think
she looked a little bit ashamed.
Yeah, I think they had a good conversation and they communicated it out, and I think that their communication is good. I do wonder, we're going to get to our last couple, Stephanie and Michael, they had to grind and prepare sausage, and the communication that was happening during this challenge was definitely showing a little bit of like a polarizing thing here, because although Michael is quiet in his communication and a little more subdued, and Stephanie is like loud, not loud, but she's just very like kind of hard. Michael was getting very flirtatious and very sexual during the sausage thing, which, listen, it looks like they're putting a condom on the thing and like jacking off this, sausage. But so I kind of feel like he was at least acknowledging the elephant in the room, but she was like,
well, I think she takes herself way too seriously. Sorry, Stacey, I almost cut you off. No. But I think she takes herself way too seriously, but he also did not read his audience. He went straight for the immature frat boy comments. It was like, come on, you know who your audience is. She's not that kind of girl, unless she is, and we just don't see that stuff, but it doesn't seem like she makes those lowbrow jokes.
No.
So it's one thing if you say one and you see a response. Another thing,
read your audience. Good call, Jen.
If you do a second one, like not everyone's gonna have potty humor. That's okay. That doesn't mean you can't date somebody because they don't have the same sense of humor. Yeah. But that's why you have many people in your life. You have friends that you can say that shit to. Sorry.
But no, it's hard not to swear because there's so many things going on. But you guys, I totally agree. Yeah. I mean, what would you, Stacey? What would you have done if you were on that date and a guy was doing that? Would you have been fine with it or no?
No, and if I just met him, but I think that she has dealt with a lot of playboys.
That's what it sounds like.
She's become that alpha female, like I'm a boss girl, which is fine. You know, you could be a boss, but she's already like, the way she's telling him, like, I want to stay at home dad, I want this and that. I feel like she has been hurt before. So those comments do rub her the wrong way. So instantly she's going to attack him and then put him into this category of, nope, he's not for me.
Totally.
Her guard is like, she is Cookie from Empire. It's like, totally. She is ready. She's Taraji P. Henson in every character she plays. And it's like, calm down, soften. You are on a date. You came here for love. You are judging so harshly.
Yeah,
but then you go and have fun. So it's like, pick a lane.
Pick a lane. Yeah. Also,
enjoy it or don't.
I'm confused. What was their challenge? I mean, I know what their challenge was, but I don't understand how it was challenging.
It was weird. Well, okay, so how did you win by grinding and preparing a sausage?
Like they just won.
Like they had people helping them.
Yeah, it was weird.
Very strange. I mean, maybe they just felt like, well, you actually just did that thing and didn't say no.
And it was kind of like, and she was all excited about, you know what?
She's also a foodie.
Listen, she's a foodie, but she was also really excited about like getting into the butcher, and it kind of seemed like she was gonna, maybe she was opening the door for him to make those sexual jokes, and then she like shut down. But then she goes and gets super open. They have this conversation later about prenups and her wanting, I'm an entrepreneur and I want a stay-at-home dad, and he was just like, no, and what do you think about prenups? And she was like, not on about the prenup, and it seems like there was a little bit of a clash there.
Well, I think it's interesting because he obviously is an entrepreneur, and he was saying something about having like money coming his way, and like he's like, well, I'm not going to give that to just anybody. So I think we're obviously seeing the remnants of a conversation that's being had dancing around the actual truth.
Yes.
But they're having it so early on in a relationship that is it's day 4 maybe at this point. How do you even have that conversation? I mean, I barely talk about like not eating red meat on a first date.
Well, I feel like this show is because it's expediting this process. We talked about it earlier, the dating.
But we don't see everyone else talking about prenups.
Totally, you're right.
These two people, I think maybe that's why they paired them like this, because she wants to
bring it up.
She wants to be this boss babe, pant wearing person in this relationship because she's obviously got a lot to prove, and she says it every minute of her day. And then he is like, well, I made my money and I'm an entrepreneur. I don't have to be so flashy and like hard. But
it's also unfair for her to expect that I do this thing in my life and so I want to keep doing it, but no one else is allowed to.
Exactly.
I don't even feel like it's authentic. Do you feel like that, Stacey?
I think it's an insecurity because maybe she's been cheated on. Maybe I think you kind of become like that. If you have been cheated on, you kind of like, well, then I need to take care of myself. So either way, like, so you don't screw me over, I still got what I have.
Yeah, because if I rely on you in any way, shape, or form throughout this process, I could
I totally get it.
She is so tough, girl, but it doesn't feel real.
I honestly think that because it comes off so extreme, Jen, I'm agreeing with you. Like, that for sure is what makes it seem inauthentic, because it's like, what are you compensating for, right? And he's a little more like, he keeps it a little to himself, so it's almost like I believe him more. But I really like Mike. I don't know how they're gonna. I think they look like a cute couple. I think they're trying. I just don't. My advice to them, I feel like, is, I think that Mike could know when to speak up and when not. It felt like on this episode he chose to speak up with the sexual comments and stuff, like at the wrong, like, know your audience, right, Jen?
Right. I think he might have also been testing the waters, because if we see they're more friends, and she says very clearly, we can be friends and then we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah.
And she's like, I want to friend you, and then maybe you can hold my hand.
Oh, right.
So I think there's a lot of like barriers to entry with this person.
Yes.
Where he is going to have to be this person, but he's probably not a mind reader, I would just assume. I don't know.
And her mind seems like it's going to be a little complicated to read.
Yeah. But I do think, again, I will say this and stick by this. I do think she's mush inside, and she's putting up this very hard exterior because she's hoping, and I don't know why people do this, but they test people and they want them to figure you out versus you just tell them what you want and what you are.
Yeah.
But I think she wants him to figure her out and fit in somehow.
Like, do the work, but it's also like, just let it happen.
Or be this magical Prince Charming that doesn't exist, that like knows the right thing to say and fights for you, and like
not real,
wants to be the stay-at-home dad just so she can say, good, you're the stay-at-home dad, but then she's like, no, it's fine if you work, now that you said it.
Okay.
Like, there's some games that are there.
Definitely.
Yeah. I think I'm going to give advice. I want you both to be more open and honest with each other and communicate what you really want, not what you're like trying to want.
Not the perception you're trying to show.
However, I do think they're going to end up just being friends.
I feel like he's going to be like, I can't deal with you.
Exactly.
Okay, so we are going to do a quick little roundtable special segment. We are going to do cutest couple and disaster date. Okay, so I think the cutest couple, I mean, I guess it's Stephanie and Ryan. I just feel like
Process of elimination. They're the only real couple.
Right now, I'm going to say that. I don't think that that's going to hold, because I think they need to slow their roll, like I said. And my disaster date was, I kind of think it was Stephanie and Michael, because it was really like to steal your line, Jen, like he was playing to the wrong audience, and then it sort of felt like it took like a left turn.
It's very uncomfortable. I am going to second both of those things, Ryan and Stephanie, because
cutest couple.
They are the only actual couple that exists right at the moment. Other than weirdly, Alma said to Mike, his name is Mike, right?
Yeah.
Going back to that. Okay, so we'll get it. She called him babe at some point on day 3, and I'm like,
I saw that.
Oh, that's here?
Yeah, she was like, babe, go with the busking thing. Yeah.
We're already there. We're going to call each other babe, but we don't know if we like each other. We slam doors on each other. That's expediting and slowing down all at the same time. Very confusing. Yeah. Read a book or something.
So disaster date.
So disaster date, though, Stephanie and Michael, because they are so uncomfortable around each other, even more so than Jenna and Kale, who I feel like we've already committed to them being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Stephanie and Michael
They're like
are
riding the fence.
But it's like eggshells, and you just feel them crack with everything they say that's wrong to each other, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, it's hard.
You're watching an accident basically happening in front of you.
Stacey, cutest couple.
Cutest couple, Stephanie and Ryan. I don't want to say that, though.
I know, because it's kind of gaggy. Yeah.
They're the only one making out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Stephanie and Michael, I somehow feel there might be guards let down.
For disaster date, you mean?
I don't know if that was a disaster date. I'm going to go with Alma and Michael. I just felt bad for him.
Yeah.
Okay.
I felt really
That's
bad.
fair.
Because
it was hard for me to choose.
And exactly. When she told him that he needs to man up, I feel like that's just something you don't say to a guy.
It's very emasculating.
That's like calling a woman fat. There are things you just don't say.
You don't say that.
Or my last person I had sex with was better than you. You just don't say that stuff,
you don't
guys.
do that.
Say it.
Or say man up to a man who thinks he's a man.
Yeah. I think.
And it's super sweet and nice and like calm, and
he's there for all the right reasons.
Okay, before we end our second episode after show recap, we are going to do a quick round of predictions, even though we talked about them a little, but you know.
And now your AfterBuzz TV.
Yeah. My prediction is that Jenna wants her own show. And she's creating a reality TV persona, which I kind of like. I'm not bagging it. I'm just saying that's my prediction.
Interesting. I don't actually like her persona she's putting out there.
No, I like what I'm saying I'm fine with
goal.
that she's doing that. Yeah.
Okay. I sort of wish it was like on a different show, maybe like reality rehab, or I don't know, I made that one up, I think maybe. But like not a love show, because when you are on a show about love, I want you to find love. You're breaking my heart with this attitude problem. I just want to fix you.
Yeah.
But my prediction is that something is going to take a turn with Ryan and Stephanie, and it might not be next episode, so I know I'm prematurely, jumping the gun here, but I do think they are going to have a big hiccup in the very near future, and their little cute bubble might burst.
And Stacey?
I have to agree with Jen. Yes. I definitely think that Stephanie and Ryan are going to crash and burn. Something's going to happen, because when you go in a relationship that fast, and you don't really know each other, you eventually find out who you guys are. So.
Guys, I really do think that they like elements about each other, but I think they're buying into it almost too hard.
Totally.
It's like they're like, well, the matchmaker said this is my person, and I see all the great qualities, so we are in love.
And I love their faith, but like it makes me a little nervous, and we shall see, because we have next episode next week on Lifetime. Don't forget to tune in and come watch our show after, so we can talk about all of the predictions and our cutest couple and our disaster date and our advice and all of the things.
And next week we'll have couple names for you guys.
Yes, we're going to give you our couple names next week. And Jen, where can everyone find you?
Guys, you can find me at Jenifer Golden on all the social media platforms. And before this show airs, we are actually on a show together, Lauren and I, on It's Complicated, right here on AfterBuzz TV from 6 to 7. So you can get your real dose of love with that.
Because we talk about dating and relationships. And Stacey, where can everyone find you?
You guys can find me all over social media at Stacey Olivas, and I also do the Vanderpump Rules after show. And that is some disaster relationships.
Hail to
one of our friends is dating Stassi. So
Bo
Clark.
Bo Clark was on It's Complicated, and also
so many questions.
Don't you worry, you can talk about that later. And you can find me at Lauren Leonelli on all the social medias. And again, all of us here at AfterBuzz TV, don't forget to tune in, listen, and watch every week. We are here at Wednesday for the after show of Love at First Flight, and we will be back next week to talk more about all of these dates, good and bad. Can't wait, guys. See you next week.
Cheers.
Yeah, bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.